how long have you guys been best friends for?
Ooh,
When was our trip that we met?
we met on a modeling
years
trip.
ago?
Yeah,
7 years
probably
ago?
6 years ago. Maybe
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've been friends for a while. We met on a modeling trip where we were shooting on a boat in St. Bart's.
So we were on a yacht together, and they had us staying in the room together the first time we met.
So we got really close really fast.
That trip.
But thank goodness we found each other and it turned out perfect. And we became best friends, and ever since then we
went on hikes.
went on hikes. Liz fell down a mountain.
I fell on a hike in St. Bart's, and she had to I think you carried me basically down the rest of the way.
To get to the beach, because the beach was supposed to be like the best beach. Of course, we get on some crazy antics. This is when we first met, but we're already getting up to crazy antics. And we had little packed lunches, veggie sandwiches.
Yeah, that was such a fun trip.
Such a fun trip.
I think that inspired our love for travel. So we've always, part of our friendship, a big part of it has been that we love to travel together. So I think that our travels and the trips that we've been on is a huge inspiration for a lot of the prints in the collection.
Agreed. Yeah. I feel like we've gone to so many places together, and usually there's a beach.
Yeah.
Or we're hoping there's a beach.
We try to go to beach destinations.
We're always hoping there's a beach. And yeah, I think we both just share the love of being by the water and bikinis.
We do.
We do.
Yeah, we had a trip with one of our other friends several years ago, and we got to travel around to different islands in the Bahamas and visit different islands, and it was really magical. You know, we went to local restaurants, met local people, and really just got to experience the beauty of the Bahamas.
Yeah, it was such a, the water there is so beautiful, and so, we were just frolicking on the beaches with,
Do you think, where do you think is the prettiest water that you've ever seen? Bahamas?
When we're out in those little islands in the Bahamas are you can't beat that, but Turks and Caicos is pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
But those little islands in the Bahamas when we were on that sandbar in the middle of,
when we were basically just in the middle of the ocean, but in a sandbar just sitting in the ocean, it was incredible. Yeah.
We'll have to post some shots of that so you guys can see.
And I think it's definitely harder to build friendships in your adult years, for sure, which is what you're kind of saying. And I think our friendship, it was kind of not a slow burn, but it took us a while to become super close. But I think instantly what we did recognize was that we had the same values, which is why I think we ended up becoming best friends, because we knew that we kind of shared the same values.
And what are those?
Well, I feel like
there are
a lot of them. We have a lot of similarities, I think, just our personalities. We laugh at the same things.
Yeah, our sense of humor, I think, is the same. We laugh at almost everything, and we make each other laugh all the time. I think our love for animals is a big one that we always have bonded over, that we both love animals and want to work to make the world a better place for animals.
Yeah, and I think
loving people. We both love people and love to help people and love meeting people.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many things. And the fun part about that time, I think that's a tough time to meet people for a lot of, the 20s are kind of in a weird place where you're out of college and you're
transitioning into adulthood.
Right, and maybe you're starting a new job, or I didn't have many friends in the modeling industry at that time. I think your 20s it's an interesting time where you're in a transition and you maybe, your college friends are left behind and you're starting a new part of your life.
Right.
And we were both kind of entering the modeling industry. We had both been in it, but we were with the same agency and we were kind of going through similar things.
Right.
And we both we had some model friends, but we really connected early on. And it's nice that we had that mutual understanding of the modeling world, and we could share the trials and tribulations and all the funny stories that went along with it, and that was a big part of it too.
Yeah, it's really nice to be friends with someone who understands the nuances of your job and what you have to go through, and it's really hard to be a model. People think that, I think there's a common misconception that it's really easy and that you just walk onto set, take a few pictures, and go home, but there's so much that goes into it that's hard, so it's nice to have someone who understands that side of it.
Some of my favorite memories when we first started hanging out was just after work. I was still commuting to work, and I would stop at Liz's apartment, and she would order veggie grill nachos, and we would just sit on the couch and complain about our feet, or just the stuff that went on in our work day that day, and we just had that mutual kind of fun. We would probably laugh a lot.
That seems like so long ago. I think part of my ability to endure in the modeling business and still be modeling at this age is part of it was our friendship.
Yeah.
We've been able to kind of hold each other up, and you know, whenever we have an issue with a client or a job or a travel,
Right.
I've been able to turn to you and text you or call you and say, what should I do, or what do you think? And in a way, we're kind of like consulting for each other.
Yes, yeah, I feel like I always am like, the first person if I have a question, it's Liz, like, because I know she's been there, or I've been there,
Right.
we've all been there, and I think the other part of the modeling industry is there's so many ups and downs, and it's nice to have someone to bounce off, like when you're in a lull, like, hey, no, you got this. Like, I feel like we've always been our
Right.
biggest, like, each other's biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah, totally. The answer is no. We've
Yeah.
never, I think that was another reason that we became so close, was that we instantly knew that we were not going to have a competitive relationship and that we would
Right.
always support each other. I mean, there are a lot of reasons that we don't compete. One is that I think we wouldn't do that, and that's not our nature, but
Right.
also we look so different.
Right.
So we're never really put up for the same jobs because we're kind of like yin and yang, so we
Right.
don't really have to compete.
If anything, we got hired a lot in the
We
beginning,
get
and that
put
also
together.
fostered our relationship because we
Yeah.
were traveling for work half the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one of the commonalities between us is that we love supporting each other, and I think we do that with all of our friends, but especially between us, we have that.
So,
I mean, I feel like I have a lot of proud
Yeah,
moments
that's
for you.
hard.
It's really hard to choose. I mean, a recent proud moment is you making it into Sports Illustrated, because I know it's always been a dream for you. So you worked so hard. People also probably think, oh, she just snapped her fingers and got into the magazine, but you worked so hard to make that happen, and you had to put a lot of work and time into it. It was a big deal for you to do that and get that. So that's one recent time when I was really proud, but I'm always proud of you.
Oh, I feel the same way. I feel like it's fun to see your friend, go through so much over so many years. I feel like I've really seen you blossom into your full potential and your full self. And I think the fun thing is seeing Liz step outside of just being a model, and now she's pursuing a career, and it's insane to see you like just getting down to work. She studies so hard. She works so hard. She's working as a full-time model, and then she's a student at night, and she's fighting for animal rights. She's just doing it all, and it's like so inspiring and amazing.
Thank you. So sweet.
We learned throughout our careers as models is that it's really important to represent everybody and have something that everybody feels confident in. Because there's times when we've probably worn thousands of bikinis in our lives, and not everyone is gonna feel confident in every bikini. But we really tried to make a line that has something for everyone and something that makes people feel good when they put it on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole point of why we put so much effort into the fit, right?
Mhm.
Because we want things to fit really well. We want every girl to find something. Like you said,
Right.
not everyone's gonna like everything, but if every girl can find one suit they like in the collection, I would say
Right.
that's a win. I mean, hopefully they like all of the suits.
Yeah.
Because we love them all. But I think just trying to keep different body types and different backgrounds in mind when designing all of these things is
Right.
super important.
Yeah, I think so. And I feel like you really started that when you first did your first collection. You really put an emphasis on everything being like adjustable.
Right. I
And
think that's a big thing, the adjustability.
Right.
If things are able to be adjusted to different body types.
that was something I feel like we learned through our careers of modeling so many bikinis, is so many weren't adjustable, and we were really like, we need something that we can put on, and maybe 1 week to the next week you need to adjust it a little bit more, and that's fine. And
Exactly. And I think it's really frustrating when that's the reality of being a woman, is that your body might fluctuate every month, and you want something that can fluctuate with you and adjust with you. So I think we always kept that in mind.
Totally. I mean, I was just so honored that, back to what you said about just your like friend supporting you, and like just the fact that Liz had something so amazing on her own and I could honestly cry thinking about like just the fact that you wanted to bring me in. I'm gonna cry. The fact that you wanted to bring me in and be a part of it, I was like so honored. And
I mean, for me, it was a no-brainer because obviously you're my best friend. I want to hang out with you, but also
true.
like we said, I think we've been creative confidants for each other for our whole friendship. So to be able to do that in a real, tangible way, it was like absolutely a no-brainer for me.
So fun. Yeah, I feel like as soon as we found this out, we were so excited. We started like our mood boards right away.
Instantly that day, I think we hung out at my apartment and got on and just
For hours.
probably for like 8 hours we were on our
We
computers.
ordered Postmates and just
looking
and finding
brainstorming
inspiration.
and trying to figure out what we wanted to do.
Yeah. So I am a California girl. I grew up here, not by the beach. I wish I grew up by the beach, but I grew up probably about an hour from the beach. So I did spend so much time growing up going to the beach was always some of my favorite times, my mom's favorite place. So always spent a lot of time with that. But for me, I kind of had, just like so many girls, I had such a tough time in high school and during my young years of feeling confident in a bikini and feeling like I wanted to go on a beach and be in front of people. And so for me, wearing a bikini now is so much more than just putting on a bikini, because it's this idea that I feel so confident and able to do this now, and it wasn't something that I was confident with, 10 years ago. And so for me, it's been just a journey of finding peace and, finding that confidence within yourself. And
I think we've both kind of gone through that, feeling more and more comfortable in our bodies. And so I think we've both kind of gotten into the mindset, like a lot of times the modeling business is tough because your looks and your body are put under such scrutiny. And I think we've both kind of really finally been able to adopt the mindset where we're more health focused and focused on what we look like. So we're focused on feeling healthy, right, instead of focused on
what you look like,
looking like a certain way.
Right. And I think going off of that, when you are putting your energy into more things than just what you're looking like animal rights or school or a fun line with your best friend or any sort of hobby or activity, once you start realizing you have so much more to offer than just the way you look, I feel like it's an amazing thing, and it makes you confident, and it makes you put on the bikini and feel good. And I feel like that was a tangent. You asked me where I was from, and somehow I ended there.
That's good. Amen.
Yeah.
I hate to, it's easy to tell someone to just find the confidence within them, but it's not so simple. I feel like that's something that takes time, and I feel like most young girls aren't gonna feel that immediately, but having supportive friends and
and I think, like you were saying, like kind of turning inwards and focusing on more of what you have to offer the world. Like, look, we all have things that we're insecure about. Just because we're models, it doesn't mean that we don't have things that we're not insecure about. I definitely have insecurities about my body, but then I look in the mirror and I remember that everybody has things that they feel insecure about. And just because I have a pimple on a big pimple that I'm hating that day, that's okay. Everyone gets pimples, and that's fine. That's just part of being a woman. In fact, I'm glad I got this pimple because I'm alive and I'm a woman.
Exactly. And another thing that goes back to like being friends is it's always, I heard a quote somewhere where it's like, you wouldn't talk to your best friend, the way you talk to yourself. So
try to talk to yourself like you talk to your best friend. So we need to remember that. We always need to talk to ourselves like we are speaking to each other.
That would never be,
And that's kind of what I was getting at, I think, is that just being soft on yourself, just going easy and talking to yourself gently.
Right. Because I'm not friends with you because you're beautiful and stunning.
I am.
Oh, yeah. But it's because I love you and you're funny and hilarious and smart and amazing. Thanks.